This man is not studying for any degree or diploma. He's not studying because he has to or because it'll get him a better job or more money. He's studying simply because he wants to. This is Coleg Harlech, a residential college of adult education in Merioneth. All the 95 students here are over 21. They come from every part of the world, and before they came here, they've done every conceivable kind of job. They spend 1 or 2 years here, and at the end of that time, most of them face a problem. During their time here, they'll have changed a great deal, but the friends and the homes that they're going back to won't have changed that much. It's a problem of readjustment. Here, there are no exams, either before the students enter or before they leave. No degree, no diploma. It's just a chance to learn how to learn, to get used to thinking the right way, to develop the habit of academic work after years in the mines or at the lathe or behind the wheel of a bus. The course of studies is broad and practical. As well as 2 subjects of his own choice, each student makes a general study of the 20th century, its history, culture, and institutions. Teaching methods are informal and depend a great deal on argument and discussion. In seminars of this kind, a member of the staff takes his students through a gentle course of mental gymnastics.
Now, this play of T.S. Eliot's Murder in the Cathedral is a Christian play written by a Christian. What I want to know is, does this fact present any difficulties to the non-Christian reader?
Well, it does appear to me that T.S. Eliot has gone to ridiculous lengths to make Thomas à Becket appear as a great Christian martyr. In fact, he makes him almost a religious maniac.
Not the sort of discussion you'd find in the average home or the average pub. Most of these men and women left school at 15. Since then, they've worked as miners, bus drivers, bricklayers, clerks, greasers, salesmen, farmhands, typists, or even as labourers. These hands are more used to steel girders than the pages of a book. They're not like ordinary students. Some are already married with families, and all of them have a place in society with a set of habits, conventions, and values. Here at Coleg Harlech, these habits, conventions, and values are bound to change. That's the whole object of the place, to educate men so that they'll go back to the communities they came from as leaders. That's the theory. But in practice, it's not quite so simple.
I'm a second-year student in Coleg Harlech, and before I came to Harlech, I was working in Merthyr Tydfil on the line of a factory there in Dallas. And since I left the factory and came to Coleg Harlech, I found that the gap between the people I mixed with then and the people I mix with now has become much greater than I thought it would. The people don't seem to accept me as they did when I was working in the factory. When I go home, I find that they think that I'm somebody different, that people who've been to college are better than the people who are working on the factory floor, even though I go and work back with them on the factory floor when I go home. And I found this rather disheartening when I went home.
Do they actually snub you? Are they rude to you?
No, I wouldn't say they're rude to me, but they sort of keep in their own cliques, and when you go in the dining hall or in the factory, you're on your own. They just won't mix with you. They change tables. They've changed tables once or twice when I went home. And I found that I had to make a friend with another student who was working there, and he was the only person I could get on with, even though I thought that he was somebody not in my class, and I thought that I was the working class person that had left the factory.
Does this mean that you've had to change your circle of friends?
Well, it means that I'm going to be forced to change a circle of friends, but at the moment I'm between the 2 stools of the people I've left and the people I'm looking for.
There are, of course, difficulties of readjusting when you do get home. A year here, it broadens your interest, broadens your outlook. You see new horizons. You want to talk about new things, different things. I mean, sport doesn't really interest you. It interests you, but not as much. It takes its place.
Would you be prepared to go back to the same job that you were doing before?
Oh, I don't think I would like to know, honestly, because, as I say, you've broadened your interests, new horizons. You'd like to do something more useful. It depends on the type of job you've done, of course.
What were you doing?
Well, labourer. Of course, I don't want to labour again.
Mr. Barrett, now you're tutor in industrial relations here, and you yourself went through a college of this kind. Did you have any trouble readjusting after you left?
Yes, I think one must have difficulty in readjusting, but I think you can overstate this case. You see, the problem seems to me to be that when you first come to a place like this, you've already got established roots. Coming here, in a way, cuts some of these roots. And when you leave, you're uncertain about the future. Many of us were ambitious to go on to university, and especially now, there's very little opportunity for this, relatively. Consequently, there's a certain frustration going to be built up in those who don't manage to go on. And therefore, they're going to find things difficult when they go back, because they won't want to go back to their old job. I think it's a case of trying to establish new routes. But I think that you grossly overstate the problems. After all, the whole problem of learning, even for an 11-year-old who goes to grammar school, if he comes from a home in which there is no background of learning, is one of adjustment. So I feel that it doesn't do to overstate the problems, but more could be done. But I think the main effort must come from the individual going back. It's the individual who is getting this extra education. He's the one that's extra perceptive to the barrier, perhaps, that's been built up. And he's the one that's got to make the effort to remove this.
Coleg Harlech was founded to educate the working class to be leaders of their communities. And it's doing as much as the local authority grants will allow it to do. The college motto runs, "He who is leader, let him be a bridge." But as bridges, these potential leaders must surely expect to be trodden on just a little. Good night.